So we're moving on to the letter Q, and I know there's 10 letters left in the alphabet, and I have squares set aside here for 8 letters. So I'm going to start painting things a little bit smaller, and I'm going to use this I'm going to put 5 in each row, I guess. I'm going to do something closer to the top of this square, and then I'm going to use a place where these two overlap for the next one and end up with room for 5. So I'm going to do quince for the letter Q. It's the best I could come up with. And it's similar in shape to a pear. I'm actually not sure I've ever eaten a quince before, but it's much yellower, kind of yellow-green. So I'm going to draw just the outline. It's kind of has a more bobbly shape on the top. And we'll put a stem in and a leaf that kind of comes out like this. It's a bigger leaf than a pear. And then it's much rounder than a pear. And it has that similar shape at the bottom. It's kind of like a flattened pear a little bit. And so for this, we need mostly yellows. So get some yellow mixed up. I'm going to put yellow in 3 parts of my palette. And I'm going to keep 1 as it is. Actually, I'm going to put it in 4. I'm going to keep 1 as it is. I'm going to add a little green to 1. I'm going to add a little bit of brown. And I'm going to add just a little bit of white to one of them. Let me scoot down here. So I'll start by adding a little brown. And then I'll add this darker green. And some white. So there's the brownish one. Let's check this green. That's too green. We'll put a little more yellow in. Lighten it up a little. Good. And the white one and the plain yellow. Okay, so for this I'm going to have the light spot over here as usual, and there will be a little light spot on this top part too, and then everything at the bottom will be dark. So I'm going to start by using that whitish yellow and just putting it around this other side. And I'll leave this area open. And up here too. And I'm going to put a little bit on the leaf also. The leaf's going to be dark at the bottom and also a little bit above this line here, so I'm going to keep this towards the bottom of the center vein and along the top a little. And now with the bright yellow, I'll start putting that on. It's pretty puddly, but I think it's okay. I'm going to try and leave a little bit of that light yellow showing. I don't want to cover it all the way up. And then take a little bit back off of the leaf now and put a little bit of green up there. I'm gonna mix up a darker brown for the stem. I'll add a little yellow to it to keep some continuity here in the tone. And also a little bit of black. I'm making it skinny for now so that I can go back and add a darker stripe down the back side of it. And I think this is dry enough at the bottom to start adding some darker color too. I'll use this brown that we mixed up, that yellow and brown, and just put a little bit down there. And let's check under here. Okay, I'm gonna put a little more yellow up here. I mixed my bright yellow with the brown by accident, so I'll just get more out of the palette, out of the paint pan. Okay, let's make a darker green. Take a little bit of this green out. And add some of this brown to it. And I think I'll add this. And a bit of black. Just looks kind of fake right now. So I want to darken it just a little. And with my tiny brush, I'll put some down low and over here. I gotta make sure this leaf attaches to the stem. Don't forget that part. So it's not just floating back there. And now I'm gonna use this color again. And these shadows I'm trying to make here are kind of curved. It helps to define the curve of the fruit. I know they're kind of bleeding out, but if you put it on in kind of a curved shape, as it dries, it'll maintain a little bit of that. I'm gonna take some of this back off with a dry brush. Okay, and now I think I'll just put a little bit of green over on this side. Just dabbing it so it's not brushing the other color away. And a little bit over here too. I think I'm even going to use a little bit of this dark green, actually, for under here. Let's try it. I'm just taking the tiniest bit because I don't want it to bleed very far. here and around this way, down a little. And then for balance, I think I'm gonna put a little at the bottom too. And then I'll blend that a little. It's pretty strong up there. I mostly want it for shading and contouring, less about the color and more about the tone. Okay, now this whitish yellow that we have can help fill in some of these lighter spots. I'm gonna put a little in here, but not a lot. And with a clean, mostly dry brush, just blend these edges. I'm putting a little bit of brown on here because it's still wet. Oh boy, that's a lot. It's still wet, so it can handle it, but I don't want it to bleed too far. And a tiny bit of that green with it. Okay, I'm gonna stop there and let it dry. And that's a quince.